Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing a deep dive into building the perfect Notion system. And honestly, it doesn't require a degree in computer science. We all know Notion is incredibly powerful, but setting up a system just shouldn't be that complicated or overwhelming. So today's Explainer is dedicated to one very specific goal. We're going to build a frictionless, clean dashboard, and we're doing it without using a single database. Let's dive right in and see how basic blocks can completely transform your workflow.
So let's be totally honest here. Have you ever opened up Notion, seen a massive database, and just immediately wanted to quit? Because it is an incredibly common feeling. You open a new workspace, you're pumped to organize your life, but the second you're faced with tables, relations, formulas, filters, poof, your motivation just completely vanishes. If you've felt this frustration, you are absolutely not alone. So many of us hit this crazy wall of information overload before we even write down a single task. In fact, this quote from Productive Setups pretty much hits the nail on the head. For most people, databases are the reason they quit Notion entirely. But hey, I'm here to assure you there really is a much simpler way. We are leaving databases completely in the dust today. Instead, we're going to focus on how to achieve maximum productivity using literally the simplest tools this platform has to offer.
All right, here's our blueprint for today. First, we'll skip the database overwhelm. Then, projects with simple columns. Third, the tabbed weekly calendar. Fourth, toggles and easy archiving. And finally, your frictionless new dashboard.
So, Section 1. Skip the database overwhelm.
The contrast here is just huge. You see, the traditional Notion approach often relies on these massive, clunky databases, where you're constantly tweaking endless properties for every single task. Dates, statuses, priorities. It honestly just turns into chaos. Instead, the simple system we are building today is almost Zen-like. It's highly visual. We're just using columns, tabs, and intuitive drag and drop. That's it, the whole shebang. Nothing extra.
Moving on to Section 2, projects with simple columns.
I absolutely love this metaphor. Think of this setup like your actual physical desk. When you're sitting there, you don't write out a database query to move a piece of paper from one side to the other, right? You just pick up a sticky note and move it. That is exactly how a block-based Notion system works. It's incredibly intuitive. It completely removes the friction between having a thought and taking action, which drastically lowers your cognitive load.
Let's actually put this into practice. Starting on a completely blank page, you just type the command /3, and boom, Notion automatically generates this neat horizontal 3-column layout. Next, just type in the names of your current projects, say Project A, Project B, Project C. And to make them really pop, turn that text into heading 3 blocks. Just like that, your blank space instantly has structure.
Now, the real key here is how we handle tasks. Instead of dumping everything into some overwhelming master database, you're going to create basic checklists directly under the relevant project header. This gives every single task immediate context. And what about those random one-off to-dos? Just make a no project column for those. Oh, and experts also recommend coloring the backgrounds of these columns. It creates these really nice visual boundaries, making your whole page so much easier on the eyes. All right, Section 3, the tabbed weekly calendar.
Now, this is where one of Notion's absolute best new features takes center stage, the tabs block. Let me tell you, it is a total game changer for simple setups. Tabs basically let you organize huge amounts of information right on a single page by creating clean, clickable sections. So no more endless scrolling, no more hiding information deep down in random subpages. It is hands down the perfect replacement for a complicated calendar view. And setting this up, it literally takes seconds. Just type the command /tabs to insert the block. Then you simply rename those tabs to the days of the week, Monday through Sunday. Now here is where the magic happens. To plan your day, you literally just grab a task from your project column and drag it right into the Monday tab. And that's it. Your task is scheduled. It's visual, it's tactile, and it is completely frictionless.
That brings us to Section 4, toggles and easy archiving.
So this perfectly illustrates the true power of the toggle block. What you do is you take your entire tabbed calendar and just drop it right inside an empty toggle block. Then name this toggle template. So what does this actually do? Well, you now have a super compact template of your entire week. When Monday morning rolls around, you just click the menu on that block, hit duplicate, and boom, you've got a fresh, clean week ready for planning. Zero database automation required.
And according to a really great tip from Locominder, using toggle blocks has another massive advantage. It makes your dashboard incredibly mobile-friendly. You know how phones have those tiny screens and horizontal columns can just collapse super awkwardly? Well, by hiding completed days or large chunks of text inside a toggle, you completely save yourself from that endless scrolling nightmare when you open Notion on the go.
But wait, what do we do with the old weeks? Well, at the very bottom of your dashboard, just type /page to create a simple subpage and name it Archive. Now when Sunday is totally over, you just collapse your finished weekly toggle and drag it straight into the archive page. It's totally out of sight, meaning your main dashboard stays crystal clear, but your entire history of completed tasks is saved safely and is always just one click away.
And finally, Section 5, your frictionless new dashboard. 5 minutes. Seriously, that is exactly how long it takes to build this entire dashboard from a totally blank page. You don't need to go out and buy expensive templates, and you definitely don't need to watch hours of boring courses on database architecture. You can literally open Notion right now, and in 5 minutes flat, have a system that immediately starts working for you.
The benefits of this approach are just massive. First off, you get total visibility. Your projects and your calendar are living in harmony on the exact same page. Second, there are absolutely zero complex filters or crazy formulas that can just randomly break on you. And finally, a really huge advantage pointed out by the experts at Hintword, basic text and tab blocks work flawlessly in Notion's offline mode. So unlike those heavy, clunky databases that often just completely fail to load without the internet, this simple system lets you plan your week even while you're sitting on an airplane. As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with this thought. The true goal of any productivity tool is to help you do your actual work, not to become a full-time job itself. By simply stripping down your workspace using columns, tabs, and toggles, you reclaim your focus and, more importantly, your energy. So what could you accomplish today if you spent way less time managing your system and a lot more time actually checking off your tasks? Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.